So let's talk about drums for Seven Nation Army. I've got a V kit here. You might not have one. That's okay. You might have a regular drum kit, you might have some percussion, or you might have nothing of the sort. But you can make your own kit out of boxes, pots, pans. If you like, there's loads of videos on YouTube about different ways to make kits from household items. So for example here I've got like this, it's like an empty box file. I've got a tambourine, it's a pretty common classroom instrument, and I could just play this with my hand, And all I'm really looking for is a sound that's like a thud, and a sound that's a bit higher and a bit sort of janglier, I guess. And that's all you really need for this song. It's a very simple drum part. I'm going to put these away. So I've got my V-kit here. The nice thing about a V-kit is that you can set all these different pads to be different instruments. So if I wanted to, I could set, this one to be a floor tom, or I could even set it to be a cymbal, or, a snare if I wanted to, anything like that. So totally customizable, really nice. But the Seven Nation Army kit is a really basic kit. It just really needs like a floor tom and a snare and a cymbal. You can get away with the whole thing. So, like everything else, the drum bit's kind of in three parts. The first bit's dead simple. It's just playing floor tom on the beat. If you'd rather, you could play it on a kick drum, but actually it gets a little bit tiring because it's quite relentless throughout the song. So the first part, the verse, is mostly just going to be playing every beat. Just like that, for ages. So if you've got someone in your group that's got a real good sense of pulse, then perfect part for them. And it's really good also because then everybody else can hang off of that. So really helpful. So that's the first part. That's most of the verse. About halfway through the verse, it changes slightly, bringing a snare drum. Now this can be one person's job if they've got the coordination for it and the timing for it. This can be two people's job. Someone can take the floor tom, someone can take the snare drum. And so this keeps playing every beat. This comes in on every other beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And that takes us all the way up to the pre-chorus. And what happens there is we continue with this on the floor tom and hit the cymbal on the first beat. Also, can be someone else's job, or maybe the person that's playing the snare drum, can be their job. You don't even have to do that bit, you can just keep with your whole way. And when we get to the chorus, it changes a little bit. It doesn't have to. Perfectly fine to keep with that sort of like floor tom, snare drum thing the whole way through. It changes to the kick drum. But if somebody's playing the floor tom, they can just keep doing that. The only reason that we need to change to the kick drum right now is because I'm probably going to run out of hands. Because what happens is this crash starts playing on every beat. This is still going 1, 2, 3, 4, but this is going to play on everything. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And then after that, it's going to go back to the pre-chorus. And back to the bass line. And then we just build it up again. Floor tom comes back in. Then halfway through the verse, the snare comes back in. Back to pre-chorus. Into the chorus. There's a little frill in the chorus, but you don't need to worry about it. It's a little bit awkward timing-wise, so I would just keep that going the whole way. And that's the whole drum part. So it's really good for instilling a pulse in people because everything else hangs around that. And the nice thing is as well, the song starts with that sound of the sort of the bass guitar and then the drums come in. It doesn't have to be that way. If it's better for someone to start with the drums, keeping that pulse to start with so that everybody else can then come in, that's fine as well. It's not really about playing the song exactly as it's written. It's about playing it at all. And you can work towards like those more complicated aspects of it later. But for a start, it'll sound pretty good.